After the age of 60, worries about memory often begin to appear more frequently. We may find ourselves forgetting the names of familiar people, misplacing items and not recalling where they were left, or needing more time than before to bring back details of past events. These small signs often make many of us immediately think of Alzheimer's disease, a condition feared by many because it affects memory, communication, and independence in daily life. The encouraging news is that modern science has shown Alzheimer's is not entirely predetermined by fate. There are everyday habits which, if practiced consistently, can significantly reduce the risk of developing the disease. What makes this especially meaningful is that these habits are not complicated or costly, but instead lie within the routines of daily life. In today's video, we will explore 5 simple habits, each supported by solid scientific evidence, that can help protect the brain after 60. These include choices related to nutrition, physical activity, sleep, mental stimulation, and heart health. Each habit has its own mechanism, working together to keep the brain strong, memory sharp, and the mind clear. If you find today's topic helpful, please give this video a like and share it with your family and friends so we can spread these good habits more widely. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue joining us in future health discussions. And I would love to hear from you in daily life. Are you more concerned about your memory or about your ability to focus? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your experience might inspire and encourage many others. One of the habits most frequently highlighted by science when it comes to reducing Alzheimer's risk is following a Mediterranean-style diet. This isn't just a way of eating. It's often described as a golden key for keeping the brain strong and resilient after 60. At its heart, the Mediterranean diet emphasizes leafy greens, fresh fruits, fatty fish, extra virgin olive oil, nuts, and whole grains. Instead of relying heavily on red meat and processed foods, it encourages nutrient-dense ingredients, rich in antioxidants, and healthy fats foods that have consistently been shown to support heart health and, importantly, brain health as well. The protective effect of this diet can be explained through several mechanisms. Extra virgin olive oil and fatty fish like salmon and sardines provide omega-3 fatty acids, which calm inflammation and preserve nerve cells. Omega-3s also keep nerve cell membranes flexible, allowing signals in the brain to travel smoothly. Green vegetables and berries supply polyphenols and vitamin C, powerful antioxidants that neutralize free radicals before they can damage brain cells. Meanwhile, nuts and whole grains deliver magnesium, B vitamins, and fiber, which help stabilize blood sugar and create an environment where the brain can function efficiently. A large-scale study found that people who followed the Mediterranean diet consistently had a 30 to 40% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's, compared with those who ate more processed foods. Numbers like that show this isn't just a small advantage. It's a powerful tool for prevention. Applying this diet in everyday life is surprisingly simple. Dinner could be grilled salmon with olive oil, a side of steamed vegetables, and a slice of whole grain bread. Breakfast might be oatmeal topped with berries and a handful of walnuts. Swapping butter for olive oil in a salad is another easy adjustment. These small changes, practiced regularly, can add up to big benefits for the brain. The important thing to remember is that the Mediterranean diet isn't a strict regimen. It's flexible, diverse, and focuses on balance rather than restriction, making it easier for older adults to follow without feeling deprived. With strong scientific backing and practical ways to apply it, the Mediterranean diet stands out as one of the most effective foundations for protecting brain health after 60. But nutrition is only part of the bigger picture. The brain, just like the body, also needs movement to stay strong. That's why the next habit we'll discuss is exercising for at least 30 minutes a day. One of the cornerstones for lowering Alzheimer's risk after 60 is staying physically active. Research has consistently shown that even moderate exercise about 30 minutes a day can make a profound difference for brain health. The good news is, This doesn't require strenuous or complicated workouts. Simple activities like brisk walking, gentle swimming, or a relaxed yoga session are more than enough. Exercise benefits the brain in several ways. First, it boosts blood flow. When the heart works more efficiently, more oxygen-rich blood reaches the brain. Carrying the nutrients neurons need to function well. It's similar to watering a garden every day. The plants thrive when they receive a steady supply. And in the same way, the brain needs this daily nourishment to stay sharp. Second, physical activity stimulates the production of a special protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. You can think of BDNF as fertilizer for the brain. It helps nerve cells grow, form new connections, and stay flexible. Higher levels of BDNF have been directly linked to better memory, learning ability, and cognitive resilience, all crucial for lowering the risk of Alzheimer's. Exercise also helps fight inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which are closely tied to the buildup of amyloid plaques and nerve cell damage. In other words, each brisk walk, yoga class, or swim session not only strengthens the body and heart, but also quietly protects the brain from premature decline. Some older adults worry that exercise after 60 might be too demanding. The key is to choose the right form. Brisk walking around the neighborhood or in a park is simple and effective. For those who prefer variety, light dance classes or senior-friendly yoga can be both fun and beneficial. Swimming is another excellent choice, offering a full-body workout while easing pressure on the joints. Another encouraging point is that exercise improves more than brain health. It often leads to better sleep, a brighter mood, and a greater sense of well-being, creating a positive cycle that makes healthy habits easier to maintain. All of these secondary benefits further support brain resilience. Studies have even put numbers to this. Adults who exercise moderately for at least 150 minutes per week, roughly 30 minutes a day, may reduce their risk of dementia by up to 40%. That's a powerful return for such a simple daily habit. Physical activity truly is a key that keeps the brain nourished, stimulated, and protected. Yet blood flow and nutrients alone are not enough. The brain also needs to be trained like a mental muscle. That's why the next habit is just as important, keeping the mind active every single day. The brain, much like our muscles, loses flexibility if it isn't exercised regularly. Once we step into our 60s, keeping the mind engaged becomes one of the most critical defenses against memory decline and Alzheimer's disease. Scientists often describe this as building cognitive reserve. The brain's ability to develop backup pathways that compensate for age-related changes or minor damage over time. The mechanism behind this is easy to picture. Whenever we challenge the brain with new tasks, it creates fresh neural connections and strengthens the old ones. It's similar to adding detour roads in a city. Even if a main road is blocked, you still have alternate routes to reach your destination. In the brain, this means memory and thinking skills stay intact longer, even as natural aging occurs. There are many simple ways to keep the brain active. Learning a new language is one of the best, since memorizing vocabulary, practicing pronunciation, and forming sentences all force the brain to build and reinforce pathways. Reading books or joining a book club can also provide both knowledge and mental stimulation, requiring us to analyze, imagine, and retain details. Even leisure activities like chess, checkers, Sudoku, or crossword puzzles serve as excellent workouts for the mind. Research has repeatedly confirmed the benefits. Older adults who regularly stimulate their minds show a significantly lower risk of Alzheimer's compared with those who remain mentally passive. Some trials have found that devoting just 15 to 30 minutes a day to learning, puzzles, or memory games can noticeably improve cognition after only a few months. What's encouraging is that brain training doesn't need to feel like a burden. Even small daily changes make a difference. Picking up a musical instrument, experimenting with a new recipe, or having deeper conversations with friends and family all provide stimulation. The key is novelty, keeping the brain curious instead of letting it fall into repetitive routines. Another valuable point is the emotional reward. Whenever we master a new skill, solve a tricky puzzle, or finish a challenging book, the brain releases dopamine, a chemical linked to satisfaction and happiness. This sense of accomplishment not only motivates us to keep going, but also indirectly protects the brain by reducing stress and supporting emotional well-being. In short, training the brain each day is no different from exercising the body. Just as walking keeps our muscles resilient, mental challenges keep the brain sharp. And when we combine this habit with healthy eating and regular physical activity, we create a powerful trio of defenses against Alzheimer's. Yet, even the hardest working brain needs time to rest and repair. That is why the next habit is so vital, ensuring 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. When it comes to brain health, most of us immediately think about diet and exercise. Yet there is another factor that is just as essential: sleep. Getting 7 to 8 hours of quality rest each night acts like the brain's natural filter, helping clear out harmful waste and preserving sharp memory. Scientific research has shown that during deep sleep, the brain activates a special cleaning system called the glymphatic system. This network works more efficiently at night, washing away toxins such as beta amyloid, the protein that can clump together into plaques linked with Alzheimer's disease. When sleep is consistently cut short or disrupted, this cleansing process is incomplete, allowing beta amyloid to slowly accumulate. Over time, that buildup may double the risk of developing Alzheimer's. Sleep also plays a vital role in strengthening memory. While we rest, the brain undergoes a process called memory consolidation, moving information learned during the day from short-term storage into long-term memory. If sleep is poor or fragmented, this transfer becomes less effective, making it harder to learn new things or recall past experiences. Another benefit of restorative sleep is its impact on stress hormones. Lack of rest raises cortisol, which can damage nerve cells in the hippocampus, the region of the brain responsible for memory and navigation. On the other hand, a full night's sleep keeps cortisol in check, creating the right environment for the brain to function at its best. Thankfully, improving sleep doesn't require drastic changes. Going to bed and waking up at the same time each day helps reset the body's internal clock. Keeping screens like phones and TVs out of the bedroom prevents the blue light from suppressing melatonin, the hormone that signals bedtime. A quiet, cool, and dimly lit bedroom also makes it easier to fall into deep sleep. Gentle rituals before bed can be especially helpful. Reading a book, listening to calming music, or sipping a warm cup of herbal tea all signal to the body that it's time to unwind. Over time, these small habits create a consistent bedtime routine that promotes restful sleep. Recent findings further highlight this connection. A study published in Nature Neuroscience revealed that even a single night of poor sleep raised beta amyloid levels in the brain. This means that every night of good rest counts. The benefits are immediate as well as long-term. In short, sleep is the brain's nightly repair session, a cornerstone of keeping memory sharp and reducing the risk of Alzheimer's. But resting alone isn't enough. To fully protect the brain, we must also pay attention to silent threats that affect blood vessels and metabolism. That is why the fifth habit of managing blood pressure and blood sugar plays such a critical role. Our brain relies heavily on its vast network of blood vessels. Billions of nerve cells depend on a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients delivered through these tiny but critical channels. This is why uncontrolled blood pressure or blood sugar can silently damage those vessels, eventually harming the brain itself. Scientists often summarize it simply: protecting your blood vessels means protecting your memory. High blood pressure, when left unchecked, gradually hardens and narrows the arteries. Reduced blood flow means fewer nutrients and less oxygen reach the brain's nerve cells, causing them to weaken over time. Studies have shown that people with midlife hypertension face a significantly higher risk of developing Alzheimer's later in life. On the other hand, managing blood pressure well lowers that risk and helps preserve sharper cognitive function. Blood sugar plays a similar role. Chronic high glucose, as seen in diabetes, damages the delicate lining of blood vessels and disrupts blood flow to the brain. Excess glucose also fuels inflammation and oxidative stress, both closely tied to amyloid plaque buildup and nerve dysfunction, hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. The challenge is that both hypertension and high blood sugar are often silent in the early stages. Many people only realize the problem when complications appear. This is why regular blood pressure checks and glucose monitoring after 60 are essential. Think of it like inspecting the wiring in your home. The lights may still be on, but a hidden short circuit could be forming. Daily habits make a powerful difference. Cutting back on salt eases strain on blood vessels. Avoiding sugary foods and refined starches prevents sharp spikes in blood sugar. Maintaining a healthy weight through balanced eating and steady activity keeps both the heart and brain strong. Foods rich in fiber, magnesium, and healthy fats such as leafy greens, nuts, oily fish, and olive oil provide additional protection, nourishing both the cardiovascular system and memory. Of course, for many older adults, medication is part of the picture. Those being treated for high blood pressure or diabetes should follow medical guidance carefully, without skipping doses or adjusting them on their own. The best protection comes from combining modern medicine with lifestyle choices that reinforce vascular and brain health. The good news is that when we manage blood pressure and blood sugar well, the benefits extend far beyond the brain. The heart functions more efficiently, the kidneys work with less strain, and the risk of stroke decreases. Together, these improvements build a foundation for clear thinking, better mobility, and greater independence in later years. In short, keeping an eye on those simple numbers and the readings from a blood pressure cuff or a glucose monitor is one of the most practical steps we can take against Alzheimer's. It reminds us that the brain doesn't stand alone, but thrives when the whole body is cared for. With this final habit added to the picture, we now have a complete framework for prevention, healthy eating, daily movement, mental stimulation, restorative sleep, and protecting the vascular system. These 5 simple choices work hand in hand to support the brain and preserve memory after 60. We've just walked through 5 daily habits that science has shown can significantly lower the risk of Alzheimer's after 60. Each one is a vital piece of the puzzle in keeping the brain strong and memory sharp. The first is following the Mediterranean diet, rich in vegetables, oily fish, olive oil, nuts, and fresh fruits. These foods provide powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant nutrients that protect nerve cells. The second is exercising for about 30 minutes each day, whether it's a brisk walk, gentle yoga, or swimming. These activities not only strengthen the heart, but also boost blood flow to the brain and stimulate the release of growth factors that protect memory. The third is keeping the brain active, learning new skills, playing chess, reading, or solving puzzles challenges the mind, helping it build cognitive reserve that keeps memory resilient against aging. The fourth is getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. Deep sleep acts like the brain's natural cleaning system, clearing away toxins, consolidating memory, and protecting key regions like the hippocampus. And finally, the fifth habit is managing blood pressure and blood sugar. Healthy blood vessels ensure a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients to the brain, which is essential for maintaining cognitive function. What ties all 5 habits together is their simplicity and sustainability. None of them require drastic changes, yet together they form a strong shield for the brain, helping us not only live longer, but also live healthier, clearer, and more independent lives. The most important takeaway is that Alzheimer's is not an unchangeable destiny. With smart choices and persistence in daily habits, We truly can reduce risk and safeguard memory well into our later years. If you found today's video helpful, be sure to like and share it so more people can benefit. And remember to subscribe to the channel to continue this journey with us. And I'd love to hear from you of these 5 habits. Which one do you think you'll start with to better protect your brain? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might inspire many others.